Good afternoon, it's Lee Cassidy from Tactile Technology and our regular OpsRamp Wednesday. It's going to be slightly different today, mainly because yesterday I did a little bit of insight into how I'm doing these videos because I don't know if it is completely live, but a few people have thought because of the titling and all the other pieces that it was actually done as a recording then edited afterwards, but it's not. It's completely live using a broadcast piece of software called OBS. I then send it to Restream, and that goes into then LinkedIn, Twitch, and a number of other sites as well. So I create it once, and everybody can see it at the same time. So what I wanted to do is just give you a little bit of a picture of the kind of things we're doing. I've actually got a camera here that's pointed looking over my shoulder at everything that's happening, so I can actually show you that with I've got a dual cam setup so you can see things. So that's a perfect example of how things go wrong when you try them for the first time. On my dual cam there's no audio setup, so what I'm going to do is actually go to the dual. So hopefully you can hear me now because I'm actually streaming directly from OBS at the same time as tinkering with it. So here you can see I've got a bit of a dual screen piece so you can see what I'm doing. So the audio is being picked up by a Rode USB mini mic here, so USB one connecting back of an iMac. I've got your OBS setup with a number of scenes. You can see them down the left hand side there, so there's a number of different scenes. I've also got those scenes then set up against a Stream Deck. The benefit of the Stream Deck is that I can just press a button, it jumps to that scene. So if I want to go back to my interview where I'm speaking on my own, I just press the button and it takes me straight there, or back to that dual screen, dual cam view. I can press it and it goes straight to that as well. So it's nice and simple to be able to jump around between the different scenes. If I was doing an interview, I've got a setup, and I did an interview with Boris the other day from Diamante, so I can quite quickly go to that. But what I was going to do is just show you a couple of other things in the way that I do this. One of them is that the way that I actually create these background images, and it's really simple. All I'm using is Keynote. So in Keynote, what I'm doing is creating some images, dual ones with names underneath, and you can see the different people I'm interviewing, single ones with their name when they're actually speaking on their own. I've got a number of other pieces like currently offline, starting soon, just ended, and also I've got a couple of others I was thinking about for later, with some images and things to put on there. But that's what I do. I create those and then I export them from Keynote as an image. Once they've gone out of Keynote, then I can select them, and I've got an image up at the moment. You can see what I'm doing on the screen here. So if I go and add another image, so if I click the plus at the bottom, what I can do is go into the settings here, and one of them is image. And what I can do is pick an existing one, or I can create a new one. So I'll say new, click OK. Hopefully you can see this from the camera at the side. And in here, all I'm going to do is browse to where my images are. And I've done is I've got them set up under documents as OBS settings. So I've got it here as OBS. I'll just better do it alphabetically, and then I can find it a little bit quicker. Now, quite a lot of documents in here, and I think it's trying to research through at the moment as well, so a little bit slow. get there eventually. I do apologize the time it's taking to get there. OBS. Yes. And in here I've got stream banners. And if I wanted to pick, a particular banner out there for the actual banners, or I've got layouts, which are these with different pieces around them. So I can pick any one of these. Presentation VIP is one I generated, and you can see the image that's set up, and then I can actually put the camera or some content from any of the screens inside the boxes. It just makes it nice and easy to create something that that people might want to see, and also make it framed a little bit so it looks a little bit more interesting. Check to make sure I haven't had any comments on the streams. Do want to answer any questions you've got as we go along. Jump back in there. Some new. Nothing from you so far. Just thought I'd check. So if I cancel that, it drops out and it doesn't add it. But if I wanted to, what I could do is add it in there. So what I'm going to do is remove it from there because we don't really want it. I've just got my two cameras and my audio for this particular demonstration piece. I've got a multi-screen layout, so I've got a portrait monitor which I use for messaging and for doing things like Word documents and other types of documents. I've got my main screen in front, which I tend to have OBS on when I'm doing these live stream videos, and to the right I've got a monitor that I use normally with a web browser on for any of the demo type things I'm doing. So what I was going to do today is just show you some basic pieces on OpsRamp, so you've got an idea of what OpsRamp gives you in the type of information. But what I want to do is build on that over the next few weeks to give you a bit more information about what you can achieve with it. What we'll do is we'll jump over to that presentation. So now you can just see the screen, and we're set up at the moment on the infrastructure tab, and we're looking at the resources that are available under that infrastructure tab. So we can see down this left hand side there are a number of resources. We've got server, network device, VMware, other where it's not identified them, so we've got 5 items that are not identified as any one of these specifics. We've got some discovered items, so people things that have been picked up automatically. We've got some web services on there, so there's a few bits and bobs that it's seen using this discovery capability with the gateway that's installed locally on the infrastructure. So what we do is run a small virtual machine in the environment, then that used to gateway from the software service platform of OpsRamp into the environment, and then we use that as a gateway for other things such as accessing particular machines, so that's Windows or Linux based through RDP or SSH, but it's all secure, using secure credentials to come through to get to them as well. But it makes it much easier than messing around with things like firewall settings and things to do it. So if we look at this, what we can do is click on any one of these and see some of the items that are there. So under server, we've got a number of servers. Some of them are identified by the OS, so we can see there are some Windows servers. There are also some Linux servers in there, a variety of different types of server. We've also got one of them here. It's got a little extra square, and this is the OpsRamp agent. So what you can do is put the OpsRamp agent on any Linux or Windows workload, and it gives you some extra capabilities. So what we'll do is go into that particular server and see a little bit more about what it's capable of doing, utilizing the actual agent on it. So we can see there are a number of alerts and things. We've got alerts because we've actually been doing some upgrades on our infrastructure. So we've been shutting some of the hosts down and making some changes, moving memory around, because we've actually got 2 different sets of infrastructure for VMware. One is a version 6 environment, which used to be our production environment, which has now become our test and dev environment. And we've got a new high performance VMware 7 environment utilizing tin tree storage and a number other things that we're going to use as our digital demonstrator platform to show some of this operational capabilities we can do with the system going forward. On there, what we can do is look at things like attributes, so telling us information about that particular server, things like its IP address, its MAC address, the model of it. In this case, it's a virtual machine on VMware's platform. A variety of other pieces that we can see about that. We can also look down and look at any services that are running. We can see all of those services, and we can also do actions like stop or restart or start those services as well. So, it gives us quite a lot of functionality directly against this on the system. We can also look at patches. So if we click on here, we can see all the Windows patches that haven't been installed yet but are available for us to install. And what we can do is go down and approve them, and then we can automate the process of applying those patches at a later date, so we can schedule that or whatever we want to do with it. We also have audit recordings. So if we have actually been on that system and done anything, what we can do is actually see a recording of it. So what we can do here is play a recording and see that RDP session, and it's downloaded to my local machine, and I can actually go through and see everything done by Paul Cherry on that particular time. He actually went in and did some work through RDP on that system. So it gives us a really good way of understanding what people are doing on any system. And if it was, say, a Linux platform we were going on to, and we were doing it through SSH, again, we would have a recording of all the SSH commands, so we can have a full audit trail on everything that's happened on each of the machines, and by whom, when, and what time they started doing it. So some really interesting things we can do. Also, we've got monitors set, and we can set a variety of different monitor types depending on what we want to understand about that particular machine. Some basic things such as CPU, memory utilization, storage utilization, network bandwidth that it's consuming. Lots of things we can actually understand specifically about that particular machine, and we can see some of the metrics coming back on the system as well. So it's just refreshing those metrics. Second, this is based on standard Windows basic OS performance metrics. We've got other templates we can apply to give it other different types of them. So it's taking a little while, so I'll jump on to something else instead. What we can do then is also look at it by also the infrastructure that we've got there, such as VMware. So if we look down here, we've got two sets of VMware. We've got one that's named with a specific name, and we've got another one, .89, which is our new environment. And I can quite quickly jump onto either of these, and we can actually see a graphic view of them if we want to, the topology of it. So we can see some basic information here, and if I click over here, we can see a topology view. This is quite a low level one, so if I bring that out to 5, what we'll do is see a lot more information about the virtual machines on there, the virtual switching environment, the storage systems, and everything else that's actually connected to it. So you can see a lot more about what's happening in your VMware environment and all the components of it quite easily. And if we wanted to select any one of them, we click on it, it will tell us more information about that particular virtual machine there. But these diagrams are used for more than just giving a pictorial view of what's happening in our VMware estate. What they're also used for is with the artificial intelligence and machine learning within OpsRamp. It actually uses them to understand the entity relationships between each component. So if we had a failure of one of the components, we can actually identify what the root cause determination is. So, is it the virtual switch has been reconfigured? Is it a storage issue? Is it a physical network issue? So we can actually identify that quite quickly, so we can understand where to go to fix an issue much faster using this system. So it gives us a lot of benefits in not only understanding what's happening there, but also when there is an event, how to actually deal with that event and resolve any issues that we might have on there. So really, really quick to do that. If I wanted to look at our other vCenter environment, I'll just jump away back again. I can then pick our other one. This is our production environment. It's very light at the moment on infrastructure. It's not a great deal there yet because we're just adding to it. And again, we can see all those entity relationships on there and the components that make up that infrastructure. We're just in the process of moving our production workloads across onto it, so it's going to be a little while before it's got everything on there, but we're getting everything moved over slowly. So hopefully that's given you a bit of a picture of what OpsRamp can do in the basic sense, and it can give you monitoring, discover the infrastructure. And all I've done to get this basic setup is to tell it where our vCenter environment is and give it the credentials. It then speaks to vCenter and pulls back all the information about the hosts and the virtual machine sat on those, any data stores that are connected to the infrastructure, and how you get to it from the outside world. So really, really quick to pull out all the information that you want. If I also wanted to look at specific things like maybe network devices, I can see all my network devices and see all the components of those, and I can also go into those devices and see things like their number of interfaces and if those interfaces are actually being utilized or not. You can see some of the actual system there. We can also see any neighbors, so we can see any other switches that this is connected to. So we can see which port it was on and which it was, and we can actually jump again to interfaces and see all the ports on there again. So really easy to find the different switch neighbors. We can see how they're connected, and we can see how many of the ports are set up and how they're configured. And one thing that we found with some customers is finding out their basic configuration details and having some kind of CMDB is quite a key thing for them. And what we can do utilizing the discovery capabilities with OpsRamp is to actually go out and discover the whole of your infrastructure, and also then take that configuration data and push that into some kind of CMDB platform. The system out of the box will integrate directly with ServiceNow. So if you wanted ServiceNow to hold that information, you can just integrate with your ServiceNow and push that CMDB data directly into ServiceNow really easily. So some really good things that you can do with this system, and really simple way of doing it. We can also look at monitors and metrics. Nothing's been set up for this particular switches yet, but we can actually add all that. We can also put notes against this if we wanted to set out positioning a rack, when we're what version of software we're running. We can do lots of things on there to understand exactly what's happening with this particular system, and we can see some of the attributes to it. So the description of the switch, the serial number of it, and all this information is being pulled directly from the switch using SNMP. So really simple ways to get that information as well. Hopefully that's given you a bit of a picture of what you can achieve with OpsRamp, some of the basic pieces. And like I say, we're going to build on that as we go forward and show you some of the other capabilities around service mapping, how you can reduce the amount of events that you get on your service desk by utilizing AI and machine learning to correlate and understand that maybe 50 or 60 events are actually just one. And they're just actually that ripple effect or domino effect through your infrastructure, and that we can actually see where the actual root cause and termination is, and then be able to fix that particular problem, rather than looking around at red herrings all over the infrastructure when it could be something quite simple that's causing lots of problems. Hopefully as well that through my little bit of dual cam view and showed you what I've got here and how I use OBS to do it. Hopefully you've got an idea of how I'm putting things together, how I'm actually creating these scenes and things, and the layouts and putting them on there, and also how it helps people to understand what we're doing. It's much easier if you know who the person is who's speaking and who they're from at the bottom, even if it's a live stream video like this today. So hopefully that's given you a bit of a picture. If anybody wants to start doing it themselves, I'm quite new to it myself. I started really in March, and it was part of this lockdown for COVID-19. I thought I needed to find a way to communicate with people better, hopefully tell them a little bit more about what we do as a business, and also to educate them some of the capabilities within technology they may not have seen before. So I started using this to do that, and decided having a regular 3 o'clock session each day was the best approach to have, and focus on a particular technology each day, or area of technology. So Mondays we do a Diamante Monday, where we talk about Kubernetes and containers. Tuesday we focus on storage and intelligent infrastructure with Tin Tree Tuesday. Today, OpsRamp Wednesday, we talk predominantly around ITOM and AI Ops, and how AI and machine learning can help you operate your infrastructure better. Thursday, we talk about what we're doing from a business perspective, so Tactile Thursday. And tomorrow, we've actually got Ian McKinsey from the Aston University's Advanced Services Group, talking about some of the things that we've done with them over the last 3 years to try and adopt the kind of services we offer, but also to talk about the Worldwide Servitization Conference that starts on the 16th of September. We're actually an exhibitor and speaker there, but it's a virtual conference, so it's going to be a bit unusual. We're building out a virtual exhibition booth at the moment, and we're going to man it virtually, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how that works. I'm not sure what it'll be like. So if you want to come back tomorrow at 3 o'clock and listen to Ian and I talk about servitization and the Worldwide Servitization Conference, join us at 3 o'clock on LinkedIn Live, or you can catch any of these through my YouTube channel. I keep copies of every one of them, and I've also split them out into different sets for each day that we're doing them. So please look at that. But again, if you're interested in doing this yourself and would like some tips, I can't say I'm a professional at it. I'm learning every day something new and how you can do it. But if you want some help, to get something off the ground, please just contact me through LinkedIn or other means, and I'll do whatever I can to help you get moving. And there's it's a combination of things that you need to do this. One is you need to learn a few things about how to do it. You also need to get some basic infrastructure, so decent microphone, decent camera, good lighting are key things to this, but also then things like OBS from a software perspective. And there are other alternatives you can use. And also, getting set up with LinkedIn Live, you need to apply for that quite early on. It does take quite a while. I think we waited 7 or 8 weeks for the approval to come through. So it does take a little while. So you need to really apply for that now. And they're also looking at what content you're generating as well. So try and create some content, whether that's basic recorded videos. I know if you want to put them up on LinkedIn, you need to be less than 10 minutes to actually upload them. Or you could do them on YouTube and link to those in LinkedIn. So there's a few things you can do to show people the kind of thing you're going to offer, the quality of what you're going to offer as well. But like I say, if you're interested in anything we do, contact me, or if you're interested in any help around trying to set up some live streams yourself, please contact me. I'm very happy to help. But anyway, thank you very much for your time today, and hopefully see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for our Tactile Tech Thursday with Ian McKinsey from University of Aston. Thank you very much.